overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice. That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on our planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
What up?
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, can't heavy on the brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light. Welcome to another video. In today's video, let's talk about how to control these emotions of anger. Well, anger itself is a natural human emotion. We all feel angry. But if we do not know how to control this emotion, if we do not know how to deal with anger, sometimes it can be destructive. And if we let that anger to control over our life, we will get into lots of troubles. So, today, I'm going to introduce you a little practice that you can practice in your practical life to deal with this emotion? Well, first of all, I have to remember none of these practices are easy. In fact, nothing in life that brings us the happiness, that brings the peacefulness to your life is not an easy task. It is a difficult one. Though it is difficult, we cannot abandon it because we like to be happy and we like to be peaceful in our life. So that's why Buddha said that everything that brings the happiness to your life is a difficult task. So what are the things that we can do to deal with these emotions of anger? Well, the first and the foremost thing that you can do to deal with these emotions is to acknowledge that your thoughts are in anger. If you don't know your thoughts are in anger, you cannot deal with it. So this includes the mindfulness, right? Whenever you are about to get angry, whenever you feel that you are triggered by this anger, just ask this question: what am I thinking now? In which mode my thoughts are in now, right? Whenever you ask that question and whenever you answer it, you can find, oh, I'm about to get angry now. Now my thoughts are in anger. That is the first step, to know that you are angry. Then it comes to the second step, right? So in this second step, if you look at this, if I ask a question from you, whenever you feel angry, imagine a situation that you have felt angry about something or someone, right?
Here we go. Today is my Friday. And so I come with my Achilles heel. I've dealt with anger issues my whole life. Maybe it's because of my upbringing. I don't know. But I've been labeled a hothead. I've popped off a few times. But in relationship, that's not the place for it. Tonight's topic is going to be one of those ones. Andy, can you pull that TV show theme real quick? I want you guys to get in the mood. I want to set the tone for what we're going to do tonight. Tonight's topic is Don't Make Me Angry. You Wouldn't Like Me When I'm Angry. A deeper look at understanding the importance of knowing your anger language. And for the callers who call in tonight, I would love for you guys to share what your anger language is, because I will be outlining what the professionals of the world have outlined as the top 5 anger languages. Set the tone, Andy.
Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry. And now when David Banner goes angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
The creature is wanted for a murder he didn't commit. David Banner is believed to be dead, and he must let the world think that he is dead until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him.
Hey, legendary, Incredible Hulk TV show theme. Yes, we get angry in relationships. Come on, don't try to front, man. I've struggled with it my whole life. I was told just hours ago that my anger language is shouting. What is your anger language in relationship? I'm interested to know. What's the importance of knowing your anger language. All the callers who call in, I would love for you to share your anger language. Now, before I ask the questions, let's go over anger language, right? The 5 languages of argument as described by relationship expert Dr. Gary Chapman are as follows. Verbal. This involves expressing your anger through words such as yelling, name calling, or using harsh language. Physical. This involves expressing your anger through physical actions such as slamming doors, throwing objects, or physical aggression. 3, emotional. This involves expressing your anger through intense emotions such as crying, shouting, or displaying intense frustration. Number 4, passive aggressive. Ooh, how many people gonna call in and own up to that one? This involves expressing anger indirectly, such as through sarcasm, silent treatment, or subtle acts of sabotage. Number 5, withdrawal. Oh, who's gonna listen? Who gonna call in and own some of this? Right? Withdrawal. This involves expressing anger by withdrawing from the situation or relationship, avoiding conflict, or shutting down emotionally. Understanding your own and your significant other's anger language can improve communication and conflict management in a relationship in several different ways. Now, there will be increased self-awareness, right? Understanding your own anger language helps you to recognize your triggers and reactions, allowing you to better manage and express your anger in a healthier way, right? Empathy and understanding. Understanding your significant other's anger language helps you to empathize with their emotions and perspective, leading to a higher level, a more nuanced level of communication and a deeper understanding of each other's needs. And then conflict resolution. By understanding each other's anger language, you can find more effective ways to resolve and reach compromises that meets both of your needs. This is getting deep now. And then prevention of escalation. Recognizing and understanding anger language can help prevent conflicts or help prevent conflicts from escalating into destructive arguments or harmful behaviors. And then it will strengthen the emotional connection. When both partners understand and respect each other's anger language, it fosters a deeper sense of emotional safety and trust in the relationship, leading to a stronger emotional connection. Now just peep game on this. Our good friend, Delana Zimmerman, was here yesterday, and she was saying healthy relationships make space for humanity. See, a lot of people will take that and run, right? And well, I can't just be with any old body that's gonna be crazy or that ain't gonna listen or that's stubborn or blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. Okay. The reality of it is, right? What she means by making space for the humanity is when you start to understand, like a topic like what we're doing tonight about understanding your anger language, that's going to put tools in your toolbox that makes you more capable or expands your capacity to be able to deal with folk. Many of us have an empty toolbox, so the first sign of any humanity, we run from it. Now, learning to be with someone's humanity isn't a justification for their bad behaviors or their bad thoughts, because like I said, people will learn how to be in a relationship with a human being because a human being is flawed. They'll take that to mean, so I'm supposed to put up with any and every old thing? No. But if you're listening to these shows, We are providing you with so many different tools. You'll be able to navigate the humanity, not only of your partner, but of yourself a little better. And trust me, in knowing these types of tools that we share on this show, trust me, your relationship is going to benefit from it. Your relationship is going to become more resilient, right? Because you have tools now that you can apply that will give you a deeper, broader perspective about what's actually going on in the relationship. This is why I say, for this particular show, I'm speaking of the voice of reason. Many of the conversations that we have here, many of the topics that we bring to the table, people are not having these discussions. They're just living, they're just doing life with each other, right? And when something happens, they react in the moment when something happens with an empty toolbox. So the conversations that you refuse to have, we're going to have here. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. A deeper look at understanding the importance of knowing your anger language. Why is it important to understand yours and your significant other's anger language? What is the language of anger? What are the top 5 languages of argument? We broke that down. How can you understand your own and your significant other's anger language? And how can you use that information to improve communication and conflict management in a relationship? What are some common signs and expressions of anger that people should be aware of in themselves and in their partners? We ask the questions you refuse to ask. How can miscommunication and misunderstanding about anger lead to relationship conflicts and resentment? Listen, when I come forward, I want to have a conversation with the people in the chat. I want you guys to call in with the people out in radio, the people who are listening in the airwaves. I want to hear from Los Angeles. I want to hear from Texas. I want to hear from New York. I want to hear from North Carolina. I want to hear from South Carolina. I want to hear from Tennessee. I want to hear from Georgia. I want to hear from Alabama. I want to hear from Hawaii. I want to hear from China. I want y'all to call in from all over the world to tell me what your anger language is. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall keep this fire blazing.
Happy Kwanzaa from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 15.
You said, what was it? Sabotage, withdrawal?
Passive aggressive. Let me pull it back up for you.
And what were these?
The 5 languages of argument.
What was the first one?
You wouldn't even listen. Verbal, physical, emotional, passive aggressive, withdrawal,
Sabotage.
that's passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we only got one caller on the line, and y'all know who it is. We got one caller on the line, and y'all know who it is. I want to hear from my peoples. This y'all show. Call in. This is your show. Call in. I want to hear from my peoples. Is this supposed to be banana?
No, it's pineapple.
Oh, tastes good. Old school now and later. What up, Maurice? Why you say that? I'll tell her, why do you say you wish I make you wish you smoke regularly? Why you say that? Yo, Eddie, what up? Tone Capone, what up? I got a great playlist of the most aggressive hip hop. Y'all gonna love this. Everybody hit that like button. Get in here. Hey, moderators, all moderators, this is a call to action to all moderators. Please post the number. I need y'all to call in. This is a conversation. All right? Come talk with me. Y'all know how we do. Attila, what you mean general? Give me some insight on what you're saying. I'm trying to understand. All moderators. And I'm rolling. Talking about a Professor Rage. I roll with a bunch of so I survive. Turn rock cause it keeps the crowd alive. I'm not balling, I'm just calling. But I pass the day, so yes, y'all in. I wiggle around, a pump, jump up. Hear my words, and get juiced up. Clear the way for the Professor Rage. Until I got feeling. Easily, cause I want it so bad that I'm starving. It's that coffee, so can you see me? It's like that, I'm like that, leave me the hell alone. If you don't think I'm a brother, then check my chromosome. Get down for the Professor Rage. Can you kick it like this?
It doesn't take a lot to make me angry. What about you? Did some schmuck cut you off on the freeway? Maybe your boyfriend.
Perfect energy with the public enemy considering anger management, so.
So you freak out, you scream maybe, a vein pops out of your forehead. It happens to everyone, but did you know that anger is actually affecting your physical health? Hey, anger is inevitable, okay? You can't just stop getting angry. Even the world's most sedate person has uttered a few choice words in traffic. Will that expletive fest really make you feel better? Will punching a wall really calm you down? The answer is no. Sorry, but recent studies have shown that anger reactions are pretty harmful to your physical health. A Yale University study found that people with anger management issues tend to get sick more often. Their anger actually weakens their immune system. The Journal of the National Medical Association added that people who respond negatively to anger are 9% more likely to have a heart attack. Hey, that might not sound like a lot, but come on, it's a heart attack. Every percentage point counts. Other studies have linked anger to everything from coronary disease to high blood pressure. Now that we all know that excessive angry outbursts are bad for you, we're going to teach you how to manage that anger in 4 simple steps. All you're going to need is that handy-dandy well-cast journal, a little bit of time, and a teeny bit of self-awareness. Step 1, control your breathing. When something pisses you off, instead of screaming or laying on the horn, take deep breaths. Spend 2 to 3 minutes breathing deeply, in through your nose, and out through your mouth.
I've been breathing all my life and I still been angry. I'm just playing. Listen, the voice of reason is on fire tonight. KBLA Talk 1580. We got a great topic. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. We're trying to understand each other's anger language. Do you throw things? Do you curse your partner to hell? Or do you avoid the whole situation? You don't talk. You withdraw. Do you sabotage? Are you passive aggressive? What is your anger language? right? I would like to know from the callers tonight, if you feel like being transparent and open tonight, I would like to know, right? Because tonight's topic wants to center on the importance of understanding and effectively managing anger in our relationship, because as the clip outlined, you can't get rid of anger altogether, right? Anger is a natural emotion that can arise in any relationship, but it is how we handle and express this anger that can either strengthen or damage the bond between partners. Let me just say this. We got to grow up too. In order for your bond to be strengthened, it must come back from damage. Now, the damage can either be so corrosive that it can, the bond can never be re-strengthened, or if you find that there's still love, there's still willingness, there's still empathy, there's still understanding, then you got something to build on. In order for muscles to get stronger, the tissue itself must be damaged. It is torn, and then it heals again. That's why we get sore after lifting weights, right? You have to understand that. Many people think the moment we damage the bond is useless. No, or worthless. No, you have to put the work in. And how do you put the work in relationally? Let me take accountability for what I said. Let me apologize. Let me acknowledge my co-creation of a bad situation, right? Of a bad argument, of a bad misunderstanding. And let me put in the work to show my partner that not only are these words, but they're going to be backed up by actions, because I'm sincere about disappointing this person. 1-800-920-1580. I got a caller on the line, but he's going to need time to spread out. So when I come forward, we going to Oakland, California. All right, y'all. I know it's Thursday. I'm tired too. But I need y'all to call in. Eddie, you should call in. You ain't called in a long time. You should. You know why? You're one of the most level-headed dudes I know. I have never seen you lose it. And I know you got it in you. You Scorpio. And I know there's been times you done let it out. But for the most part, what I've observed from you, you like to de-escalate first. And maybe that comes from maturity and age. We up there a little bit. Maybe it comes from that. Maybe in your younger year, like me, I'm with the shits, right? I'm with the shits. But in your older age, I have seen that you refrain. And that's one of the qualities about you, Eddie, that I admire. I see you, brother, and I'll be like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. Thank you, Attila, for calling in. Thank you. Hey, Charles, why aren't you calling in, Charles? Eddie, call in, man. I need some callers. I need 2 more callers. Attila called in. Truemonger, get in here early. I don't want you on the line long. Now, Eddie's my guy. He trying to get me to go to Madagascar I mean, literally, figuratively, literally and figuratively. He's trying to get me to go to Madagascar.
For what type of retreat?
No, to another cigar lounge that's way on the other side of town. You would love it over here. I'm not driving.
Where the hell is Madagascar?
It's not really Madagascar.
Oh.
It's like Inland Empire, some way off Ontario mill. Like, I'm not going way over there.
Oh.
The cigar lounge is by my house. 3 miles. Bellflower. I ain't going to Bellflower. The fuck?
Would you go just to see it or not?
He be sending pictures. I seen it. I seen it.
You stupid.
He sends pictures. Be in the picture. Yeah, that look nice. Good job.
You burnt out. Yeah, that look nice. Good job.
That's wonderful. He called me a hermit. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Here's the thing, man. This is the Gemini conundrum. Or at least this Gemini. When the people closest to you, and I'm not talking about family, right? I'm talking about people that you're intimate with, don't really think you're all that. Like, you're not really hot shit to them. Because you've exposed your humanity to them. And because they've had an intimate view of you as a human being, their evaluation of you goes down. But then when you go out into the rest of the world, the evaluation is high, right? Oh, Zoe, you helped me. Zoe, you changed my life. Zoe, you've elevated my relationship. Zoe, you've done this. Zoe, you've done that. And this is why I come on here and I try to be as transparent without actually saying names and dates and, you know, without doing all of that. But it's really tough to get compliments, right? Or to get people saying, you helped me. I've been listening to you since I was 27. I'm 37 now. Or I've been rocking with you since blah, blah, blah. Right? And it's really hard to not be seen in the same light by the people you want to love you. Or the people you want to share love with. Because you've heard that saying, you flew too close to the sun and then you got burnt. You understand? I think in my intimate relationships, they fly too close to the sun. They get burnt. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, the whip in me, the work in progress in me, the human in me, shows up in a different way than the teacher in me, than the philosopher in me, right? And they, like many people who watch the show, that's what attracted them to me too. And it's just a hard realization that people don't like the whole you. They can't tolerate the whole you. They can't be with the whole you. That's a tough realization.
Song right after the drop.
Just had a fight with my friend. There was some trivial talk. We really had confrontation. And I said it was wrong. So I think she get it from my mom. Her bitterness passed down the phone. Took the time when I'm coming out of trauma. She took the face of the listen of her soul. I got problems. got cold and early. Turn the roof down, mercy, I gotta bring it to me. First of all, it's the show. First of all, it's the show. So just lay it back and relax. Everybody tell me again, it's
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa. Way. Whoa. Whoa. Way. I'm telling you to shoot somebody, but if somebody try to shoot you, shoot 'em. Don't waste time. Little nigga, just do it. Must be service. Boy, you're making me nervous. Yeah! Hey! I'm playing the most aggressive hip hop I can find. Hey, that's 50 Cent. The record is called Crime Wave. My playlist is my co-host. I'm sorry. We got an aggressive topic tonight. What's the importance of knowing your anger language in intimate relationships? We must know. Jeez, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got callers on the line. They want to talk. Sean, Oakland, California, get in here.
Brothers, though, so this could be the most important show you've ever had, and I'm not kidding. I'm not just being doing hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
Because, us, I'm going to speak just from coming from a man, right, and being in a relationship with a woman. Okay, so unspoken language, and I know this is a talk show, but unspoken language can be way more powerful than what when people just go off and they start yelling and screaming and doing all that stuff, right? You can give the side eye, right? You can also, I admit to I think I've done everything you said earlier, all the different things you can do. I've done them all, but I realize that most of them are futile. They're not worth it.
Mm.
So, I think the unspoken language sometimes, not ignoring, because I think that's not wise either, because I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the side eye, the unspoken language of your face, your body language and all that is very important. But you've got to make sure you don't cross all those lines with that anger. Because if you understand that once you go all out and you're like mad, like, some MMA fighter or something, you're going to lose. You're going to lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't do that. My thing is anger is a natural response, but, you have to convey it communication-wise in a very subtle way. Because I've already made all the other, not that one. I've never done any, and by the way, never do physical abuse, never do any of that. But I'm saying I've made all the mistakes short of that, where, I am just ticked off. But you know what? Your better half or the other person is also ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do the same damn thing too. So what I'm saying is, both of you, all of us, need to be able to regulate our, anger situation. And
Okay.
look, I'm in Golden State Warriors, baby. Draymond Green, that's my man. I'm talking. He needs to, now he needs to understand he's hurting things.
Hurting the team.
As opposed to, that's right.
I got you.
As opposed to helping the team. And so he'll understand that. This is my homie. He's going to understand that. But right now, in a bad place. And a lot of people out there, though, with this situation, they're in a bad place. They can't control their anger. They're exhibiting their anger in their better half. And your family is your team.
That's right.
So when you do that, you're exhibiting your anger. And it's not that easy. You got to, have some failures. But when you have those failures, please learn, people.
I got you, man. I got you. Guess what you just did, Sean?
Brother, I brought Oakland in the building. I love it.
Thank you, brother. We love you, too. We appreciate the call. Where did Cynthia from Mississippi go? Cynthia, get back in here. We want to talk to you, too. Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Awesome, though. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Topic is it's a little touchy.
A little touchy for you, huh? Well, talk to me. What's your anger language? Of the ones that I outlined, you tell me.
Silent.
Silent. You go silent.
I go for 7. Mm-hmm.
You might burn the house down.
Oh, the house don't be burning. Look, it'll still be standing, but you walk in that house, it's gonna be hot.
Ooh.
Okay?
Silent.
I'm like a thermostat.
So, what can push you to that space?
Well,
Break up the phone call.
see, that's the hard part for me, because I feel like my anger is shrouded in shame and guilt.
Ooh.
So, feeling like, I feel some type of way about the feelings that I have, or feeling some sort of shame towards being angry, I'm not going to be able to really connect those dots in the moment. But what I've found, just kind of like revisiting moments in my past, it's typically been from either being like, feeling like I was misunderstood or mishandled, or just, I think just like feeling a sense of like rejection or abandonment for me, like it's my set me off.
Ooh, wait, just hold tight because you cooking right now. When we come forward, we're going back to Houston, Texas, but don't get it twisted. Mississippi is on board. Canton, Mississippi, as well as Dallas, Texas. Boy, we got the South on fire. If you want to bring Los Angeles in the building, if you want to bring the Northwest in the building, if you want to bring the Northeast in the building, this is a national conversation, and I want to hear from you.
Jinx, we took off our headphones at the same time.
Okay. Everybody hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. The South ain't came to play. You ain't lying.
This generation and the next, there's simply no place in our lives for living. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps. Keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com.
I want cornbread. You so extra.
I didn't even know he was there. man. 'Did you just spray Arabia? No. No.
We're live in a minute.
60 seconds, y'all.
Voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA King believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to
She said, I ain't even got to talk to destroy something. What? What? What?
A man on Instagram.
Oh. The big showdown. Display your skill. The show's out. Kiss your wife because I'm like a knife. Call screaming strike. I'ma do you on any MC who you wanna name. I'm one panther that can't be tamed. Respect. All the rookies, I got more than just Cool J cookies and rip. Woo-hoo-hoo. Listen, I'm a hip hop aficionado. I know y'all not ready for my playlist. Some of the most aggressive hip hop records to go with our topic. What's the importance of knowing your anger language? That record by LL Cool J from the same album that brought you Mama Said Knock You Out. That record is called Murdergram. Yo, don't go near the speakers. See, the record is high-powered and energetic, but he's, showing his braggadocio skills to let all the other MCs know this is a murdergram to y'all. Hey, I love LL, man. Go ahead, Andy. They don't know about that LL. They know about the love songs. That LL is different. Yes, sir. The Voice of Reason is live on KVLA Talk 1580. We were talking to our good friend and regular contributor, Attila from Houston, Texas. Please give us your final thoughts, sweetheart.
Yes. So I do think it's important to control your anger. So it's going to control you, obviously. So for me, it's a tool, and I'm just going to use it to channel into my higher self. But in terms of working on my communication, I think it's best if I express things up front and without judgment. So I'm still working on that.
So do you think maybe you should journal and write a little more?
Oh, I write all the time.
You just ain't gonna share what you wrote up.
I don't want nobody to see what I be writing. Okay.
I got you. Guess what you just did, Attila? Houston, Texas is in the building. What city will be next? All you got to do is get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. Who's been on the longest? That's Dallas, Texas. And of course, that's True Monger. True Monger, get on the line and talk to me.
Yes, sir.
What is what's your anger language? I know you got one. Talk to me.
I got quite a few.
Yes.
But, it all depends on what the situation is, really. And I have different levels to it.
No, a lot of them are more like annoyances that, like, over time, we just build up. I try to not to explode because of them, so I try to let them out through through more calm conversation, calm dialogue. Try to let them know what the issue is then. And then if it continues, that just makes me more frustrated and angry. It's like talking to the wall, talking to dead air. You know, when people are not willing to listen. So I get triggered by disrespect, rudeness, people lacking awareness.
I get triggered by indifference. If I perceive that you being indifferent, like you don't really care, it don't matter, pop off time. Mount St. Helens, Mount Pinatubo, Krakatoa, bow. Go ahead, I'm sorry, I digress.
No, that's cool. Because I've been, and I can also get silent, and that, from what I've been told, that intimidates people. They rather me show that I'm angry than be quiet because they don't know how to respond when I'm quiet. Like, yeah, you want the show. You want all the theatrics and whatnot.
Well,
when I'm quiet, if I'm quiet, I can think.
Wait,
I'm not just reacting.
what's the sign? You Capricorn. Oh man, y'all got depths to y'all anger.
Yep.
Ooh, a Capricorn ain't gonna never let it go. The Capricorn is not gonna, he gonna outlast you. Like, oh, you got a grudge towards me? You ain't finna beat me in holding the grudge. I'ma hold the grudge for lifetimes. Capricorns, they got a dark place that's crazy. And they remember the darkness. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I have a hard time forgetting stuff that I want to forget.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but I'm getting better at not holding grudges. But like I said,
yeah,
I remember a lot.
Well.
And
well, maybe you should.
I always throw it in their face.
Well, true. Maybe you should learn from your Gemini brother. Gemini and Capricorn are a lot alike. Listen,
my dad was a Gemini.
Gemini is the sign of communication. If Gemini yelling at you out of anger and mad, he's still communicating. He's talking. But when a Gemini goes silent, boy, hide the kids, hide your wife, hide everybody. Gemini is going to go crazy. But the difference between the Gemini and the Capricorn, the Gemini will forget about it. He'll do all the dirt and be like, listen, I was just upset. I didn't mean it. The Capricorn will mean it forever. The Gemini will come back and say, I'm sorry. I apologize. You made me do. You understand what I'm saying? That's heavy, man.
I'm more like, I'll move on from it. I'll always remember it. Well, I'm not going to throw it in your face. If I start to see signs of something happening, I can just go back into my memory and remember how I responded to it before. And maybe I need to try something different, not react the way I reacted then. That helps me move forward.
Got it.
But yeah, I don't forget much.
I don't forget much. True Monger, guess what you just did, brother?
I brought Dallas in the building.
Dallas, Texas is in the building. We looking for your city. Get your city in here. 1-800-920-1580. Cynthia from Canton, Mississippi. Get in here.
Hey, everybody. I'm supposed to be asleep.
Oh, Lord. We done woke you up. Child. What?
I got talking to Nikki from Mississippi. She told me to go to bed. But I had to address something because it just happened on the way home. Hello to everyone. This is a great topic. I'm triggered when people cross my boundaries and they act like they don't see. That triggers. And the reason why it hurts is because I don't let a lot of people close to me. So in order for you and I to even have any kind of relationship, we have to be almost to the point of serious relationship other than an acquaintance. We have to be level. And it's all the time that we're walking along, I'm having to level you with encouragement, level you financially.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make certain that you understand that you can do this. I got to pump and prime you like a little leaguer.
Mm-hmm.
That angers me.
Mm.
And then when I address
Wait a minute.
you as an adult.
Wait a minute, Cynthia. Hold on.
Okay.
What is this? What's the birthday? What's the sign?
I'm a Taurus woman.
Ooh, Lord. Impatience with people. Especially people.
I do have patience.
I said impatience with people who don't get it. That's
Yes.
yeah, I know. You one of them intellectual signs. And if they not picking up what you putting down and they not showing appreciation for you taking the time.
Come on with it, sir. You know exactly what to say. The problem is, anger is a great emotional tool. You should know when to be upset. And when you've gotten to the point where it's uncontrollable, it's because you have allowed, we cannot talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
you have allowed people to cross that boundary so much that the boundary should be raised.
Mm.
To the point where they can't even see you, they have to yell over it at you. And the withdrawal of my presence is enough for you to let you know you have crossed the boundary. And in order to protect me, I have to back away.
So your language is to withdraw.
My language is to withdraw.
I love it.
Because I'm going to do all I can until I fall out. But then lately I found myself, I'm angry because I've given too much and I saw that I was doing it, but because I wanted you in my life so badly, I just let you hang out with me because I like the company. But that dog, I can't push the buggy and pull it at the same time.
Push and pull the buggy now. Come on.
Did you ride, baby?
Where they do that? Come on, Cynthia, you.
No, I'm good. I'm good now because I'm working through it. But honestly, I understand what you were saying earlier about how you were hurt because we talked about this when I called earlier. People they want the 75% of you that's doing good, but that 25% ugly person,
they don't want it.
I need you to look back.
Wait, stay with me, Cynthia. Stay with me, Cynthia, because you cooking. I need some more of that Mississippi grub when we come forward. More from the VOR. Don't drop the soap. You see blood coming. Woo. Hey. Did you get your book, Mr. Kirkland? I resent it with the new address. Mr. Kirkland, did you get your book? Boom.
Boom.
You got it.
Boom. Boom. Yeah, you play golf?
I'm about to, man. I got to get into something, man.
Oh.
I mean, the homie's been asking me for a long time. The homie's been asking me for a long time, so. My homeboy Ryan at the Cigar Lounge, he's like, yo, man, you're an intellect. This is an intellectual sport. You're gonna love it. I gotta put my mind on something else. I gotta get out of hermit mode. I've been in hermit mode, shit, damn near a year and a half. And I gotta get out.
I think the last time you went out was when you went to go get seafood and we were like, it was somewhere. Probably where'd you have the lobster at?
Oh, when I went to the Hollywood Industry Insider thing up in Palisades. Yeah.
I don't remember. I got good memory.
Yeah, I was like, then when you said lobster, I was like, oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Over there.
So that was for work or pleasure?
That was work. Well, no, that wasn't really. It was pleasure.
Now, how long?
Because it was the homeboy at the Cigar Lounge. shit. He had the CEO of Facebook, all kind of motherfuckers was there. It was like, it was cold.
How long ago was that?
6 months.
Does black love still exist?
See how hard that was? Oh, that was 6 months ago, yo.
And I left early.
Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
So, we live.
It's a very heated topic. Oh, they're right. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is this something wrong up there? I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad life routine. How does he maintain his humposity? Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So will you. Reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
Let me come back to the rage for a second, because I would love to get your advice, or at least hear of some of your learnings over the last decades. Because I recall from our first conversation that, you know, in your 40s, you're a successful doctor, you're a driven workaholic, you had challenges in your marriage, your kids were, at least based on my notes, sort of afraid of you at points because of your rages.
Right.
What have you learned about rage and anger? How do you relate to it or metabolize it? And I ask as someone who has a long history of running on anger as maybe a corrosive fuel of sorts. So I would love to just hear you expand on that in any way that makes sense.
So there was a great neuroscientist. His name was Jaak Panksepp, P-A-N-K-S-E-P-P, who tragically died a few years ago of cancer. And he distinguished a number of brain systems that we share with other mammals. They include care. He capitalized these. So C-A-R-E, care. Then something he calls grief and panic. Then fear, lust, seeking, play, and rage. These are all brain systems that we have. They're all necessary for mammalian life. They're all necessary. Now, by rage he means the anger that arises when our boundaries are being transgressed. If I were to infringe on your boundaries, either physically or emotionally, the healthy response for you is to mount an anger response. No, get out. Stay away. That's healthy. Healthy anger is in the moment. It protects your boundaries, and then it's gone. It's not necessary anymore. However, if your boundaries were infringed as a child, but you could not express it, it doesn't disappear. It gets suppressed. It becomes almost like a volcano that's gurgling and bubbling inside you, but it's had no expression. Now, why did you suppress it? Because if you're being very public about this, so I'm sure you'll allow me to mention it, but sometime after you and I talked, you actually publicly acknowledged that you'd been sexually used as a child.
I did.
Now, when that's happening to a small child, the last thing you can afford is to be angry. Because if you get rageful at the boundary invasion, you're going to get hurt even more. So suppressing that rage becomes a survival mechanism. Nothing wrong with it. It's the right thing to do. You don't do it, your brain will do it for you automatically as a way of preserving your life or your relative safety. But the rage doesn't go away.
Man, Gabon be dropping bombs. Welcome into the second hour of the VOR, which is on fire every night. Tonight's topic: what's the importance of knowing yours and your significant other's anger language? Do you withdraw? Are you physical? Are you violent? Are you physically violent? Are you emotionally silent? Do you suppress how you feel? Do you self-sabotage? Do you sabotage the relationship? What is your anger language? Do you shout? Do you yell? I want to know. You need to know. Do you vacillate between all of them? Vacillate, oscillate between all of them? I want to know. What's your anger language? Very important topic tonight. Yes, anger can often be a veneer for fear. Anger is a secondary emotion that can mask underlying feelings. It's underlying feelings such as fear, hurt, or vulnerability. Culturally, there can be a stigma around admitting fear, as it is often seen as a sign of weakness. This can make it difficult for individuals to express their true emotion, all right, in conflicts and get to the root of the issue. In a relationship, it is important to create a safe, non-judgmental space where both partners feel comfortable expressing their fears and vulnerability. That's going to be hard to do in this weird society. People can't wait for you to express your vulnerability so they can store it away to use it against you. Not everybody. I'm sorry. I digress. By fostering open and honest communications, right, partners can address the underlying fears that may be contributing to anger and conflict. This requires a willingness to be vulnerable and a commitment to understand and support one another through the process. For example, instead of expressing anger by saying, "You never listen to me," a person could express their fear by saying, "I feel afraid that you don't value my opinions when you interrupt me during our conversations." By expressing the underlying fear, partners may have a more meaningful and productive conversation about their needs and concerns. This is very heavy, right? It is important for both partners to actively listen and validate each other's emotions, even if they differ from their own. By acknowledging and addressing the underlying fears, couples can work together to find solutions and strengthen and deepen and enrich their bonds. Do you agree or disagree with the statement, the aforementioned statement? I want to talk to y'all tonight. What is your anger language? Cynthia from Mississippi, please finish your most powerful thought.
What I was going to say, and that was really great. Thank you for playing it, though. Because that did for me, I didn't realize I had a lot of trauma that happened in my youth. And as I got older, because I didn't address things that happened to me, my feelings were suppressed. So when anybody came and they got too close or they weren't listening to me, at one time, everything I did came out as rage. But I'm learning to control it now. Because I see that that boundary was not lifted high enough. And as a child, you think as a child. But as an adult, I had to go in and say, okay, that happened. I can't allow that to happen in the place that I'm going now. So my language for this, for anyone now, is to withdraw and to get quiet. Because if I get quiet, because I do have something to say, that's your warning that you're about to enter into a space that you're going to have to deal with me full force. Now, I don't withhold. I try not to cuss. I try not to. But I don't withhold what I'm feeling from anybody because my feelings, whether you believe in them or agree with them, are valid because they're mine, as well as anyone else's, and they're my experiences. So I just think we need to really be selective when we are giving people access to us and the people that we want to travel this journey of life. They need to be categorized, just like you do when you go to your phone plan. You got that basic talking text. Then you got the next line up, you get a little more features because that's what that phone is allowed to do. You can't give them 100% access and then expect for them to treat you a certain way when they haven't had the training to deal with you. So you teach people how to treat you back And so even if there's going to be a hiccup, it's not going to be a gravel road. There's going to be some potholes, but the road's going to be paved because we're both going in the same direction.
Wow.
And that's what I wanted to say. So thank you so much, though.
Cynthia! Cynthia, what did you just do?
I brought Canton, Mississippi.
The simp is in the building. Where is Nikki? Nikki, if you don't get in here, 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, more from New Orleans, from Detroit. A lot of people calling in. I want to hear your anger language. Call in, y'all. Who else? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. All I know is I'm not going to say nothing. I remember when they used to have ice in here. They don't have ice no more. You ain't got to bring no. Listen. No. They got to bring it back. No. And here you go, chewing on ice, knowing I want some ice. Y'all see that? I just told her we wish they had some ice. And then she takes a whole big ass mouthful gulp of ice. Fuck it then. Yeah. I'll tell her the show got you thinking. Right, just choose in my face. Like,
True.
Live in a minute. Playlist.
I know that neurophysiologically, anger is a multidimensional emotion. It activates positive emotion systems and negative emotion systems simultaneously. You see this variation in people, you know. I mean, I know some people who are real fighters, let's say on the political front, and some of them really enjoy a good scrap, right? It really seems to get them motivated. And this isn't a criticism of them necessarily. And then other people, and I think I fall more into this camp, I'm not really very interested at all in conflict. It bothers me a lot, although I don't like delayed conflict, so I'm likely to engage in it, you know, relatively upfront. You can imagine that people are wired differently as individuals, so that for any given person, being angry might be associated with a predominance of approach motivation, right? Positive emotion, and a relative decrement of negative emotion. And for other people, that would be reversed.
Hey, Jordan Peterson, there's a lot of people that don't like him, but I love him. Oh, I love his perspective. I love his intelligence. I love the nuanced approach that he comes from. Like, it's not just a straight down the street thought. It makes you think. It stretches your current perspective. I love Dr. Jordan Peterson. He definitely be spitting. But Andy had a thought before I get to my next caller out of New Orleans. Andy, what was your thought?
Nothing too crazy, but just listening to that Organized Confusion record got me thinking that nobody's upset in today's hip hop.
Yeah.
And we're definitely missing that aggressive tone. A lot of it is very emotional and emo and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's an element that's missing in the game that I actually love and enjoy. I think I gravitated towards, you know, a lot of the angry type music.
Yeah. You had Public Enemy, you had NWA, you had BDP, you had Rakim, you had KRS-One. When KRS said, "You must learn," he was upset. When he said, "Why is that?" When he broke down the whole Bible and showed scripturally how everybody in the Bible was black, he said, "Why is that?" Come on now. Hip hop was angry for all the right reasons when it was conscious. So there's something called righteous indignation. And that's where hip hop was before gangster rap. There was a righteous indignation. When Public Enemy said, "I got a right to be hostile, my people being persecuted," that's righteous indignation. Public Enemy puts Minister Farrakhan in the records. That's the first time I ever heard Farrakhan was in a Public Enemy record. When he's, "You dope dealer, using your fame as a DJ to sell drugs," and then you go off. I was like, what in the world is this? So yes, there's a such thing as righteous indignation. So talk to me, Eddie. I see you bubbling.
Does that righteous indignation, does that make that type of anger good?
Here's the thing. Because of the 7-circuit system that was first outlined by LSD master Timothy Leary, you have to remember that first circuit of the human mind is the anal, not the anal, that's number 2. It's the biosurvival circuit. The anal territorial circuit is the second circuit. But the oral biosurvival circuit is the baby circuit. And what that represents as far as our psychology goes is we move towards things that are safe, we move away from things that make us feel unsafe. That's a baby, right? So many of us are emotional babies in relationships because when somebody pops off whether it's righteous indignation or self-righteous indignation, we can't differentiate between the two because it feels like pain. It feels like you're coming at me. So there's this natural retreat, or there's a natural leaning in to fight back. So most people are at the biosurvival circuit. Now, when they evolve a little bit, they move up to the anal territorial circuit. Now, the anal territorial circuit is a circuit you might see at work, right? The anal territorial circuit is just like a dog who sees another dog and he goes and he pees where he peed, just to say, I'm gonna cover your scent up with my scent. You'll see that at work when you have a subordinate and somebody above them, right? And they, bang on the subordinate because they have this egoic kind of position. That's the anal territorial circuit. The third circuit is the semantic circuit. This is when you start mastering your words. Now, when you master the semantics of it all, and you're able to rip a person to shreds without profanity, with your words, without vociferation, without getting loud, oh, now we're in a different phase, right? Hey, trust me, man, this anger thing goes to different levels, man. I'm sorry for going on a tangent. Andy took me to a whole nother world. I'm sorry, we got callers that need to be addressed. Now let's get Carl in here. He's been on the longest. New Orleans, get in here. You got to turn your living room down, brother.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Zoe? I had a couple of things I wanted to say, but if I could.
Go ahead, brother. You live on the radio right now.
Okay. So the caller, not this past caller, but the caller before this guy, she mentioned about everybody's emotions being valid, and from my personal experience with that type of quote, I've noticed that people who say my emotions matter or my emotions are valid, they usually say that to in saying that they kind of like shut down other people's emotions or other people's point of view, when they kind of like cover up the truth when they say quotes like that. So, I'm not saying that's what she did, but or that's what she would do, but I'm just saying that that's one thing that I've experienced with those situations. But,
okay. So you saying you feel like your emotions weren't being heard? Is that what you're saying?
But no, so I'm saying that some people who use that, a lot of people saying regardless of the truth, how I feel is important, which is true. But when people use that, a lot of times they're discounting the other person's perspective when they're including too much of their own emotion into it.
Well, let me go deeper, Carl. You can't disregard anything, the truth or how somebody feels. And that is, and let's go deeper into that. That is the essence of creating a safe space in relationship. Meaning, the truth matters. How you feel about it matters. How your perspective may be different than mine, but your perspective matters, right? I've been in arguments with loved ones who see things totally different than the way I see it. And what I've learned to do is say, you know what? I don't agree with you, but I respect where you're coming from. I may not agree with every nuance or how you tell the story, but your story matters just as much as mine, because the collective of our two perspectives actually is the almanac, so to speak, of the experience that we're talking about. So I can't invalidate how you perceived it, how I can't invalidate how you experienced it. If that's what you experienced, I have to acknowledge your experience as part of the grander truth of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely.
Yes. So I'm agreeing with you. I don't agree with people who say, regardless of the truth. No, you cannot take anything out of the experience. If it's the truth, it's the truth. Right? You've heard that old saying. There's your side of the story, my side of the story, and the truth. Right? You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, brother. Your other thought. Talk to me.
Okay, so in regards to anger languages,
Mm-hmm.
what I've noticed is that first there's a combination of styles that people use as opposed to just one over the other, and there's usually one after the other in a way. And there's different consequences for different styles for different languages being used. And I hate to bring up old stuff, but ironically, this being the title of the show, I just happened to watch the episode of, where that Aries Spears was on the 5150 show. I just happened to watch that from the beginning to end yesterday, of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And from that show, I noticed that Corey lost his cool too. Not in an unwarranted way. In the same way yours, I don't think yours was unwarranted from watching the show. But Corey lost his cool from across the room where he had to yell at Aries because Aries was continuously over talking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the rap section came on, he did like 2 and 3 verses and stuff like that when other people was trying to talk. And when you was having your input on the show, he would tell you to like shut up in like a playful but not playful kind of way that he wouldn't.
So you want to reenact the Aries Spears story? Is that what you want to do? I'm with you. I'm with the smoke. Let's go with it. So that's 2017. Okay, let's go with it.
I'm just only bringing up because I just happened to watch it yesterday. And
So
like,
let me just say this. I understand that a lot of people follow me, right? And to see me get out of character is like a child watching their father get out of character. You know why? Because I've been pouring a lot of positive input into a lot of people. So when they see that, they create an image of who they think I am. Oh, Zoe would never do that. Zoe would never lose his cool. Wrong. Zoe is a human being. And if you're consistently disrespectful, if you're consistently crossing the line, I'm going to show you the other twin. Because you know what? Cool Mo D told me something. He said most people respect your anger more than they respect your intelligence. He said intellect flies over their head and past their shoulder. They don't even know what you're talking about most of the time. He said, think about Suge Knight at the height of his power. Wouldn't nobody say nothing to Suge Knight just based on who he is, the image. They knew we in trouble. They wasn't like, oh, Suge Knight's the most brilliant man in the world. Ain't nobody scared of Einstein. When I come forward, I'm going to finish talking about this Aries Spears mess. That made me respect Uncle more when he went off. Yeah. Oh, you want a piece? Mm-hmm. Then Suge got knocked out and the veneer of invincibility went away. That's the same thing that happened with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson get beat by Buster Douglas of all people. You have to remember, before Buster Douglas, people were so afraid to get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson looked like he looked like Ogun. He come in there, he looked like the African god Ogun. He in all black, no socks, no fanfare. He looking at you mean. He got them eyebrows. That motherfucker watching you. Hey, people was scared of Mike Tyson, literally in fear. Then what was considered a bum, Buster Douglas was considered a bum. He wasn't considered like, oh, Buster Douglas, one of the best heavyweights in the bum put hands on Mr. Invincible. That told the rest of the heavyweight division, oh, he's beatable. He can get knocked out.
Even if you can't knock him out, somebody else can knock him out. He's
He's knock outable. They was like, oh.
People crazy. The human design is interesting.
Yeah, I'm a manifesting generator. I think that's what I am. But here's the fucked up shit about that. My homeboy, he's a master of that shit. He told me some shit the other day that just fucking broke my heart about human design as it pertains to me. Fucking broke my heart. I said, what? He was like, yo. He said something about my birth chart or whatever. He said something about being a martyr as it pertains to relationships. He was like, oh yeah, you're a martyr. You have this martyr energy where you get crucified for bigger lessons, for grander lessons, for every. I said, what? I don't want to hear that shit. Like, man, this is shit. I was like, this shit's a lie. Yeah, I just automatically said, I'm not receiving that. Fuck that. He was like, yeah, there it is. Yeah. I said, man, he's a brother that's been trying to get on the show. He wants to come on regularly and do the human design for the listeners. And I was like, human design is not like astrology. It's not like something you can condense and hit it real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say if you know it, you can line up astrology, you can line up cardology, you can line all of that stuff up really quickly. Human design, you can't really condense it. And I was like, you have to find a way to condense it a little better. And if you could do that, I would definitely bring you on. And, he's been working to do that so he could deliver it. Man, but he was like, yeah, you got this martyr position in your human design chart. I said, man, fuck all that. I said, I'm not with none of that shit.
Do you feel it's a connection for the time you were born in that time in everyday life? Say you was born at 5:30. Do you feel like there's a connection with 5:30 daily?
No, what's interesting is at different times, I will catch my birthday on my phone, a clock. I will see it everywhere. And I will see the birthdays of other people that I care about or whatever. On a clock. I see my mom's birthday all the time.
All the time. Yeah. I'm like, hey, Kathy girl, she be right there.
Yeah. I see her birthday a lot. People I love, I see their birthdays. Yeah.
What do you think about a Virgo rising Capricorn moon?
Well, the rising and the moon, are part of a trine, so that's good. What's the sun sign? So then there's fire. So that's tempered fire. You present as a Virgo, but it's really fire. So that's a tempered Aries. And then you said a Capricorn moon?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then there's a tempered moon. But those three signs, Aries, Virgo, Cap, that's an angry month. That motherfucker can get angry. Like, flame on. Like, the Capricorn is already...
Capricorns are like, they think about you. Like, they'll mastermind how to...
Yeah.
They don't stop. They don't... Once you
that target, Capricorn moon is different. Like, that shit is like, what, nigga?
So I know they
ain't nothing gonna stop me from whatever
like
it is.
Meditative
right.
Type
that's some other shit, right?
That's
then the Virgo rising is, I'm finna analyze every nuance of every fucking thing. And then Aries is, I'm finna do all of this shit.
Song right after.
Jeez. Come on, man. My playlist is my co-host, DMX. They don't know who we be. Let me get my brother Carl from New Orleans back in here. All right, Carl. Finish your final thought, my friend.
Okay, well, the reason of me bringing that up was to point out that it seems like different responses get different consequences. Because from watching that show, I was saying that Corey lost his cool too when he had to yell at Aries, but the physical response had garnered like a bigger response from everybody as opposed to any type of other response, as opposed to what any other response would get.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, guess what you just did, brother Carl?
No,
so Carl, you don't. Carl, this is your first time calling the show. When I ask you, guess what you just did? You say you bring your city in the building, sir. Now, what city are you repping? New Orleans? Or are you repping? There you go. Now, Carl, guess what you just did?
I brought New Orleans in the building.
You brought New Orleans, Louisiana in the building. And listen, I love Corey. And, you know, I ain't got nothing but respect for Aries. I do, you know. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to hurt him. I just wanted to show him, like, in a nanosecond, I could be on you like stank on a plank. I didn't, you know, I didn't try to hurt him. Mo D even recognized that. He was like, you pulled all of your punches because you didn't want to hurt. And I didn't. You know, I just wanted him to know, like, hey, this, I don't know what you think this is, but this is what it ain't. I'm sorry. They say, oh, Zoe, you're the voice of reason. Sometimes I'm a whip. That's what I am, a work in progress. And if you cross the line with me, you're going to get introduced to the other twin. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's not. It's something. Listen, I've been working on me since I recognized that I was the problem. So I'm not. See, this is why I come on the show the way I come on the show. I have to lead with my weaknesses. Most people won't do that. They try to package themselves as the new cherry Coke. They try to package themselves as this perfect product, right? You know, oh, you know, the relationship master because I've mastered it. And nobody has mastered relationships. So I come in with my flaws first so I can connect to the whip in you. That's the purpose of it. Go ahead, Andy.
You know, I'm not surprised that somebody brought up that situation considering the topic being discussed. But, you know, you being the voice of reason, you kind of talked about it just now, but, like, do you feel that, how do I want to ask this? Are you conscious of your emotions considering you are the voice of reason?
Oh, absolutely. Like, like behind the scenes, you don't understand. I'm doing the show, and during the breaks, Aries is cool. I'm talking to him. Hey, calm down. Follow Corey's lead. And he's like, yeah, all right, I got you. I'm cool. I said, yeah, you know, relax. But then as soon as the lights come on, he turn on. And even at a higher rate than he was in the previous segment. And so I'm like, okay. So you in here playing reindeer games. All right. So again, I'm going to do, you know, the right thing first. But if I recognize that you don't respect the right thing and you want to play reindeer games, I'm gonna be Santa. I'm gonna come in as the chief elf. I'm sorry. All right, cool. We got D on the line from Detroit. D, I'm sorry. Get in here. D, are you there? D from Detroit. D probably went to go make wait, just put her on hold. There you go, because I knew she was there. D, come on in. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, okay, I didn't know the difference between anger and fear for a long time because when I was 12, I had just got back from my mom and I had been raped. And I didn't want to tell anyone, so a year had passed. I rebelled. I moved to Tennessee. Told the pastor, he said, you're going to have to take a vacation to the hospital. So, went there, found out that this man had gave me everything under the sun. And my mom was mad, so she told her friend who had daughters. And she wanted to know, who was this guy? And the daughters had told the baby mama. So when the baby mama, from what I know of, his last words was, she had said, oh, so you asked that little girl was now. That's why this baby ain't yours. So he blew her head off and stayed there and waited on the police. Went to prison. They gave him 33 years. Now, this when I was 13. I'm 37 now. They told me I wasn't going to have children, everything. I was blessed at 15 with a child, and 7 years, 7 months later, I was blessed with another child. So my son just about 3 weeks ago asked me, Mom, had you ever been raped before? And I said, what happened to you? You been raped? I'm thinking he gonna tell me something that's gonna make me go ballistic. And he was like, no, I'm just understanding women. So I told him. And he was like, well, what happened to the dude? And I said, he went to prison for killing his baby mama. I was like, but my mama told me, let God handle that. And he was like, he's still alive? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, why? And I said, baby, I don't know. It was God's plan. I said, but you wasn't supposed to be here because they told me 3 different doctors said I wasn't going to have children. And I was just explaining to him, and I said, I'm not angry anymore. I'm not in fear anymore. Because, when it happened, when my mama found out, my mama was like, I killed the man because of that. And I said, huh? And she was like, he raped me before I had kids. And she was like, and I shot and I killed him. And I was like, Mom, I was like, wow. And she was like, I was 17 years old and I had to go to court and everything and I was exonerated. And I was like, my mama is a thug. So I was like, why didn't I have that kind of courage? And I was always comparing that to myself, like, I'm weak. But my son, his grandparents is cops. So he been raised going to the gun range, going hunting, riding horses, swimming since he was 2, all kind of stuff. And I just said, baby, I said, don't be mad. I said, if this man do end up getting out and not get locked or nothing like that, because they supposed to be letting him out early. And I don't want my son, he's 23 now, I don't want him standing at the gate waiting to blow somebody's head off. But I told him, I said, if you're angry about it, I was like, because of something that happened to your mama, I was like, don't be, because God brought you in this world for a reason. And I was like, to find that every person who said that I wasn't going to have birth to children, that they wasn't right. And I had you backing them. And I told him, and I was like, I was like, you ain't your brother, you know, and I was like, you say you are your brother's keeper, and he tattooed my birthday on him. I told him, I said, baby, I said, I'm not angry anymore. I don't want you to be angry. I was like, yes, I don't want him to get out of prison, but this man that was just here fixing on my house, he did 21 years in prison up in Chicago, and he gonna say, no man should be locked up. No black man should be locked up, period. He was like, I don't care what they do because of the shit that because of the stuff the white people did to us. And he was like, so I don't care what a person did. If they black, they don't belong behind bars. And I just told him, I said, well, that's what you think. I said, and what you been through, you know, Chicago ain't nothing like here. But y'all, you know, I just said, you lucky you made it out, you know,
so let me say this to you, D. Let me say this to you, D, real quick. I think, you know, you are doing an amazing job with your son. God has blessed you. They said you weren't going to have any kids. You had 2 vaginally, and he is one of them. But I would suggest, if you feel like he's struggling with it, you and your son, y'all might want to go sit down with a therapist, preferably a sister, right? And y'all sit down with them and you allow him to work through his feelings, because I would hate for something like that where your son felt like he needed to take some kind of revenge because that might be his anger language. I would suggest that you definitely encourage him to sit down with somebody so he can work through and process his feelings. But let me tell you this. You won the conversation tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you called in and you were open and you were transparent about everything you went through. And I just want to say, sister, I love you and I appreciate you for being able to open up with us and share something so traumatic and so powerful. You shifted the whole show tonight, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, baby girl. You brought Detroit in the building. The voice of reason got the whole nation talking. When we come forward, you knew it was going to happen. Nikki from the SIP. Yo, that was heavy. See, sometimes you gotta let folk talk, man. You gotta let them talk. Do you know how hard it is to talk, man, about like stuff that you've been through?
She just sounded so loving and compassionate. Such a mother for her to be like, don't be angry, and see the purpose of like the reason why everything happens for you. You my baby, you know. So
right.
She sounded so beautiful and graceful.
Yeah, like shit.
You could tell she's matured so much as a woman. She sounds. For her to tell her, like, you know, let God handle it, you know.
You see, I'm going to pull back. When they start talking and revealing that, I'm going to pull back. Go ahead. Speak on it.
How much healing she did on herself for her to say she's not angry. And then not only see that, but see the bigger picture. Like, oh, you were the purpose of the whole. It's beautiful.
No, that's different.
It's really hard for people to find the reasoning behind why it happened.
She don't get love from me. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no smoke for her. You know?
Baby, don't be waiting out. Don't let that take a space in your mind. I ain't even mad no more. You don't be mad about it, baby. You remind me of Captain. Don't worry about it. I never heard it from that point of view. That was actually really very graceful. She's done God working with her. She's done a lot. That's healing on a whole nother level.
That's
for her to say that the way
man, when you think about what people have gone through, and then you think about what people hold on to.
That's crazy. And she has every right to be angry. She's not.
Yeah.
She's so divine.
But see, that's what they mean by differentiation or perspective. That's why they say that old saying. You think you doing bad? go down to Skid Row or go somewhere, go to the Genesee Center where you see women in a homeless shelter who have been beaten, domestic violence. You think you think your relationship is bad because somebody cheated or somebody, didn't do something in a timely manner or whatever? Go see somebody really going through it. It don't mean that what you went through is insignificant, but it's designed to give you perspective so you can differentiate the degree. You get what I'm saying? There's levels to pain. And yes, for anybody that's experiencing pain, regardless of what the level is, they experience what they experience. So you can't invalidate it. But in order to heal from it and move past it, sometimes you need to see a deeper level of pain so you can look at your own pain and go, huh, okay. You see what I'm saying? Some say no to the album, the show, but merge the sound. I made a year ago. I guess you know. You guess I'm just a radical, but not so radical. Just a maker critical. The panther part of your body should be part of it too. Panther power on the hour from the rapper to you. Radio suckers never play me on the mix. They just okay me. Yeah. The voice of reason. Wow, my playlist is my co-host. We found the most aggressive hip-hop records tonight because we're talking about your anger language. And many people have been calling in and talking about it and sharing their experiences. And, it's all good. I love it. But, one of my favorites is in the building. I don't want to take up no more time. Nikki from the SIP, get in here. What's the food for thought tonight?
Oh, Brother Joe and the fam.
Mm-hmm.
This anger thing is a real heavy deal, too.
Mm-hmm.
Anger pushes us internally to places sometimes that are both healthy and unhealthy at the same time. So we kind of become a Gemini in that instance. For myself, you already know I don't suffer from as well. But I'm also a slow burn. And there are many opportunities for you to understand. Please do not provoke the bull.
That's right.
When you have driven me to the point of anger, and I have had to learn some mechanisms, because normally when you drive me to that place, the earth will be scorched when I am finished with you.
Come on, Nick.
Nothing will grow there ever again. And normally, I do not have to go up an octave to do that. My friend from Mississippi who called in has told you I have a high command of the Queen English. Internal positive and negative. When I am driven to the point of anger, it takes me days to bring my spirit back to a place of level. And I think on some level, all of us experience, even if it's loud or if it's cursing, that Gemini experience, particularly when we're not Geminis by nature, when that is happening, it takes us a minute to sort of level off again. Because that angry touches us in a place no one else should be anyway. That's why we're mad. And let's just be adult and cognizant, when people give you cues about poking the bear, please take the clues wisely.
Please. Hey, I love it. I love it. Nikki,
Let's not
go ahead.
press us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just not press us into that space.
Mm.
Because for some of us, literally, like I can't hear, or the place in my spirit that I have go when you have made me angry, it takes me a long time to come back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And let's not do that with each other. Let's recognize if we must go, if we must retreat, then do so.
Right.
Because I promise you, if you get me to that place, nothing will ever grow there again.
Nikki, you know I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You always bring us food for thought. What did you just do, sweetheart? The sip is in the building, and I look forward to hearing from my sister on Monday. Let me just say this. The more fear we have on the inside, the more our perception of the world is changed to a fearful, guarded expectancy. That is Dr. David R. Hawkins. Man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. The voice of reason is out, but guess who's in? Jill Monroe, RSVP, up next. Woo. Get him. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.